Yes, good evening, ladies. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for taking out the time of your day. Is GFL on? Is representative from GFL on?
I don't see him. Someone's coming in on a phone number.
Happy Juneteenth, ladies and gentlemen. I do hope and trust everybody had a great weekend.
You too.
I don't know. There's someone with their phone number out. Is GFL on yet?
We did confirm them to be on from this morning, ladies and gentlemen. I know this is a topic and area of discussion here of high importance. And so we wanted to make sure that they had an opportunity to come and address the situation. And I was trying to get them on the phone here.
I also invited Merlin Knight to come on. He has a small boutique sanitation service, and he can talk about the difference of the boutique version versus the big version.
Is Merlin on?
I'm gonna call them.
Did anybody get out to the city's Juneteenth event this weekend?
Yes.
Did y'all see the fireworks?
No. Nope, didn't stay that long to see the fireworks.
Miss Shirley is online. Miss Shirley, you want to talk about your event this past weekend?
Sure. The event was very successful. I thank God for the ones that came out and the ones that wanted to make it but couldn't make it. And I'm looking forward to the next event. So thank you all for everything that you've done.
Yes, that was awesome. It was an awesome event. The walk was great. The Stop the Violence walk.
Hey, Corey, this Miss Johnson.
Yes, Miss Johnson, how are you?
I'm fine. I don't know, as we waiting for your people to come in, we had 3 incidents over here. Okay, the weekend there's a guy was cutting the grass over there off Fairwood. Did you know about that? And they robbed him, took his phone, his truck, and all his equipment. Okay, over here in the Fairwood neighborhood, about 3 weeks ago, we had 3 guys come in here and they had killed a man and took his car. And then the robbery going down Fairwood Road early in the morning. So I think we need more police riding through the neighborhood over here.
Absolutely. And you said this
We need police, period, riding through the neighborhood. I'm just saying, need police presence, period, in these neighborhoods.
I mean, the
I
guys
agree.
don't want to come and cut the grass if they're gonna be robbed of their equipment and stuff, and
So
then come
you
to
said
find out
you said this robbery just happened when? This
the
what was
weekend.
it past this
Yeah,
past Saturday or
yeah,
Sunday?
yeah, Saturday. And that's the second robbery I had in that area over there on Fairwood. And then those guys brought that stolen, well, they was riding in the stolen car and brought it in the neighborhood, and come to find out the car, they had killed somebody for the car down in Fayetteville.
Where did this happen on Fairwood?
When did it happen on Fairwood? It happened
No,
Saturday.
Where on
On,
Fairwood?
on one of those side streets over there. They didn't give us the street, but I meant the street. They just showed it. They did not want you to, for privacy, no, to protect the house.
There's no cross street, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay, so how did y'all find out about it? Because
How
Phil was
did
a
I
long
find-
road.
how did I found about it? It was on Ring Doorbell. They post all that on the Ring Doorbell.
Oh, so you're talking about the Ring app. Okay. Well, stuff like that also should get posted on Nextdoor. You don't have to give the address. You can just say, hey, at the cross street or something. Because Felwood is a long road. I do understand what the gentleman was asking, because I mean,
It was posted on Nextdoor. I saw it on Nextdoor.
okay. Oh, I haven't seen it. Well, my apologies then. Yeah. So.
It was posted on Nextdoor. He also has several customers in our neighborhood in Williams Bluff.
Okay. And this was during the day, I presume, or early morning?
Yes, all what happened during the day. The
Oh,
one-
no, I'm just asking.
all
Do you have the
what
name of this?
happened during the day.
You have the name of this gentleman?
I know
Does
his
anybody
first
have his
name.
contact information?
I can share
Which
it with,
gentleman
I
is
can
he
share
asking
it with
for? The
you
gentleman that got
offline.
mugged?
Okay.
And I would say this, from being in an enforcement background, you know, I have a landscaper as well. In my neighborhood, somebody stole something off one of our landscaping corporate trucks. What I suggest, people should be, you can't stop people from attempting to, you know, rob you or I get, you know, from that standpoint, even in broad daylight. But every time I tell my staff when they go out, always be aware of your surroundings. Always look and observe. I mean, but I know we get so caught into a tunnel vision thought process of I'm going to my next location. I'm going to, you know, Mr. Farrell's house to cut the grass. I look even in my own neighborhood as I'm coming through, looking for things that look kind of out of sort or a little strange. It's not going to stop what transpired. I do understand that, but just I would almost be 50-50 chance that whatever transpired, there was probably a clue on the way there, meaning car just sitting there idling for extended period of time, people walking that just look out of place. You know, I'm not saying you're profiling people, but those are just little things. So it's called situational awareness. That's what we tell when we train our staff. Be aware of your surroundings, be aware of the situations, understand, always have an out. We never park in front. We always park where we can get out. Go up the street, not down the street. You know, I mean, seriously, so we can get out of the area. Never have our back to like a door or little things like that. Just looking around, when people come up, we step back, not knowing what their intent is, but just knowing that I need to be able to get to a point of safety at a certain point. So, and I definitely feel for, anyone, no one should be, especially just doing their job. I mean, but, I do recommend everyone you can do a lot of these classes online. They're free. In some cases, situational awareness, and it brings you into a different perspective of what to look for in any situation, going to the gas station, going to a grocery store. When I travel and go out of town, stay in hotels, I count the number of doors to the exit. So I'll know if there's an emergency, I know how many doors I need to get to.
That's a good point, Al. Thank you. So, as we're waiting for the GFL, as I done heard over 1,000 complaints on what's going on, and I'm pretty sure everybody on this call has has had an issue with GFL, and I really wanted them to have the opportunity to come on here because as we do have a sanitation bid out, I believe they are one of a proponent who will be submitting. And I just wanted them to hear about from the constituents about their customer no service and about service that people have that just unsatisfied about. I know I received a call this morning from an unhappy customer, and they went off about for 30 minutes, and just talking about how they can get nobody and just want their money back. And I do want to let y'all know there are options, other than GFL, and so I hope that people are taking advantage of that as well. I know one service, Latham, but they're accepting no new customers, and they've not been accepting new customers for over a year now. So they're content with what they have. Those who have them are happy as a fat rat in the cheese factory. Those who don't are still searching for other options. And
who was that again, Corey? Councilman Reeves, who was that again you just mentioned?
Latham Sanitation.
Oh, Nathan.
Corey, I'm just going to say I've had GFL Waste Industries since we've lived here, and I've never had an issue. They sent us a call 2 weeks ago, say, hey, your Wednesday date is now Monday, and they picked up today. They picked up, we've only had a few instances where they didn't pick up, and we called them. And I'm just saying, I mean, I can't speak for everyone else. I'm not saying that others, aren't having issues, but I'm just saying I've had them since we've lived in this community, and we've had pretty, good results, here, and the majority of my neighborhood has them. And I can only speak for myself. That's what I'm saying. So,
yeah, I mean, and that's fine. There's you have those as well. You have the ones who have been satisfied. You have the ones who've been dissatisfied. But this comes about because I have been receiving so many calls and emails about the dissatisfaction that I wanted to give them the opportunity to come on and to answer any questions that people may have about this trash pickup, and plus, about leaving the cans out, about, just missing days, not picking up for weeks. And so to explain that part of their business and what are their plans and what are they planning on doing about it going forward, particularly if they're preparing to put in a bid to be a provider for sanitation for the city of South Oakland.
Well, speaking of that, Latham will not be submitting a bid according to them because they're not large enough to serve South Fulton, and they said they are not going to be investing in the type of equipment that will be required. So you can scratch Latham off the list.
Oh, I already know that. They're not going to right because they're not they're a smaller service, but you know it's like a mom and pop service. But you know, I know about that.
So what I would be more interested in is what is this bidding process? And how these
Okay.
rates are going to be negotiated.
Well, that's a good question. And so the purchasing director for the city of South Fulton got escorted out the building last week. So we in that bidding process, you know, that's a procurement issue. I will be happy to bring them on and so y'all can ask them how that question is going to go. But the purchasing, yeah, the purchasing.
Well, I don't want to see this thing handed to GFL.
I had a question.
I mean, again,
wait a minute. I'm sorry, y'all. You said the procurement, the purchasing director got escorted out.
Yeah, yes. He was fired. And so
He was over procurement, so they over the bidding process?
yeah, purchasing. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Purchasing. Oh, they over the person. Okay.
So where can this do we need to go through public records to get this bidding process?
it should be on the website. That's what I was about to ask.
Right.
Okay. Because like I said, I don't want to see this thing handed to GFL.
That's
and
the staff.
I would hope that the city of South Fulton will be negotiating with whoever it's going to be so that we can have a decent rate for this thing and not have free will to charge us what they want to charge us. So I'll be interested in seeing what that process is going to look like too.
Yes, that is
the
staff.
ordinance has metrics in place that, again, I don't know. Corey says that y'all are receiving those metrics from these waste haulers. Is that correct?
We are awaiting reports from staff, right?
Wait a second. Hold on. So the sanitation person, y'all waiting to get it from the sanitation person y'all hired.
We're waiting on staff to produce the reports for the metrics for the key index indicators.
That's already in the ordinance. But yet and still, we're going to put a bid out for waste services, and we hadn't even looked at what the providers are currently providing based off the metrics.
I will be able to get the.
And I'm not trying to put you on the spot, Corey, but you see what I'm saying.
No. I'm perfectly fine with it. And so, you know, it's just, and get this, because it is, we do have that. We did talk about that, and they know this. And so what we are waiting for needs to be provided over there. So in view of transparency. And so those key performance indicators are the metrics on what it is that they signed up to do. They're contractually bound to provide that information.
Now, when you say they, I want to be most specific. Who is they?
The providers, the service providers that are currently provided, the 5 ones that we have are contractually bound to produce the key performance indicators.
In the sanitation ordinance, they're supposed to produce weekly and monthly reports to mayor and council and the city manager saying what stops they missed, why they missed them, how much they picked up from tonnage, everything.
All right. Well, that I'm not worried about. But right now.
No, but see, that's what I'm saying. We're about to do a bidding process, and they don't even have the metrics that are in the ordinance already. So why are you going to put something out to bid when you can't even rate who's already your current providers?
There you go. There you go.
You see what I'm saying?
What's your name go? Alejandro.
Yeah,
we're gonna become real good friends.
That doesn't make any sense. I'm like, get the metrics first, then get a baseline, and then put it out to bid.
If I even think GFL is being handed this thing, I would go to every freaking length on the face of this earth to figure out why and how that happened.
It only makes good sense to me also, and I agree with you, Mr. Alejandro and Mr. Durden, Keith, that if we already know that there are problems with GFL based upon the information that Councilman Reeves, that you started off with, that you have received or heard of thousands of complaints about GFL, that their metrics must not be up to par. If we're getting ready to entertain bids without knowing their progress or lack thereof, we're not ready to take this information on in terms of perhaps giving them an opportunity to get this business.
That's right.
Even this bid should have key KPIs in it.
Absolutely, sir. And we have had this conversation, as Mr. Farrell has brought this up previously. How long ago was that, Mr. Farrell? Approximately about what, 2 to 3 months ago?
Whenever the city manager and assistant city manager were trying to do this, hey, we're gonna just pay your
Absolutely.
taxes, and I'm like, nah, man,
Absolutely.
that doesn't make any sense.
It does not, does it? And so,
And then, as far as this bid process, that need to, if there have not been public hearings on this one, there need to be public hearings on this issue as well. Before we can even finalize what a freaking bid looks like.
Absolutely.
That's right.
well, there will be public hearing. There will be public, a chance for the public to make their comments on this. So just know that.
Councilman Reeves, with all due respect, in the earlier this year, the so-called opportunity for public comment was a farce. The announcements were not made so that everyone had an opportunity to participate in that what I call the farce of a public comment period. And most people didn't know about it. We were not notified except for what was it, a social media directive? That is not how you get public comment on something as serious as this that will end up costing the consumer money.
Yeah, staff pretty much blundered that. We do understand that, Ms. Mapp. So we're going to be over them to make the better public outreach push. And we will be doing it ourselves as well.
I'll follow up with you by saying that may be part of the reason we have to get a new purchasing manager.
Yes.
Procurement manager.
Oh yeah, that probably should be the starting point of whatever the process is going to be. But
So just so I understand, does this bidding process have a documented time frame?
All right, so I'll answer unofficially on the procurement process only because I used to work in the procurement process with MARTA. I'm not going to speak for the city, but generally, a department designates they need some type of procurement service, and then they partner with the procurement department, so it's assigned to a purchasing person. Now, they work with them to determine what are the needs and what are the specifications of what they need in order to put it out to the public or on the street. They'll generally have a meeting to clarify questions so that while it's out on the street, so that people can get their bid in order according to things that may not have been clarified in the writing. If they ask these questions, then they normally draft that up and put it back out to the public, because once it hits the street, you can't answer for one and not for all. So everybody is supposed to have all the same information. There is a timeline in the paperwork that says when it's supposed to open and when it's supposed to close, when is the deadline to ask any questions, depending if it's a something maybe construction related or custodial or something, they may have a tour so that they can see the actual facilities. Anything that's going to help happen to make sure they can put in a successful bid. So if it's something quick and easy, it can be 2 to 3 days, like purchasing toilet paper. If it's going to be building something, then it may be out there 2-3 months. It just depends. And so because of the time and what they're going to have to do to put their bid together. Once the bid comes in, then the goal of government is to purchase the best for the cheapest price. But they can say it's not about the cheapest price, it's about the quality. And then they don't have to get the cheapest person. If there's there can be a panel that can come in and they can do interviews and ask them questions to help making the decision. So even though what their paperwork is saying, if they can't have them come in and do a presentation, they can ask questions to help with their decision-making process. They can have a panel, they can have subject matter experts, and then those process will help them determine, okay, even though they're not the cheapest one, this other person is the better one to do what we need to happen. Okay, they're cheaper, but what they're saying they can do that's not possible, that they're going to be able to do all of this for $2. So somewhere in there, they're gonna have to come back and ask for additional money. Things like that. They can tell all of that in the plan. So that helps with the process. Once they have it, if it's over a certain value, they have to take it in front of the council for approval of, can we move forward with this contract? And then the council has to vote yes or no. So the public part of it would have happened with the feedback and contacting the council when it's time to go on the agenda for the council is the public feedback time frame.
Good evening. May I ask a question? My name is Mrs. Brown, and I'm in Riggins Ridge. And so I'm just want clarity because I had heard that, you know, Latham wasn't going to be a part of it, but I wasn't really sure exactly why. So you're saying that because they're not going to bid, that we're going to lose that service? Is that what you're saying?
Well, let me just say this. It is a possibility, yes. And one of the things is that with any vendor is to look at the Latham companies as subcontractors to that, to be able to fulfill all of what the needs are for sanitation services. And one of the things about Latham is that as a subcontractor, to keep the area, to keep the clients that they already have, and to service the new clients in that same vicinity that they can do. So that's one aspect of it as well. So, but is it possible that they can lose? You can lose the service? Absolutely.
So you can't have more than one company servicing an area, because that's
When we
currently
go out,
what it is.
when we go out and put this sanitation out to bid, it is going to be a provider, a service provider, or two service providers to service the entire city of South Fulton. And so they will be obligated for everyone, regardless, to have trash service that's door to door, every door. And then the ones who need backdoor service. And then we definitely want to eliminate, one of the things is to eliminate, you know, you have two neighbors with two different bills. And so that's ridiculous, from the same company. And so that's something that has to be eliminated as well. And we'll have a better metric on that internal process to have that under control, as we do have a sanitation manager who will be overseeing that.
So my
But
question,
there's enough for everybody to eat. And if the majority, I don't know how many customers Latham is currently servicing, but they give very good service. They're reliable, they're dependable, good customer service. They answer their phones. So if I don't know how many people they are servicing, but why do they have to stop if they have a customer base who's very satisfied with them, just to get a company that can serve a larger number of the homeowners? I think there's enough for everybody to eat. So if you should be able to pick the company that you feel satisfied with and that you feel like you're getting your full benefit from. And I think this, I don't know how it's being worded to them or what have you, but it looks like just because they're a smaller company, a mom and pop company, as you stated, that they don't have the opportunity to be a part of this, and they should be a
They will
part.
not, they will not, they have the opportunity to be a subcontractor.
Yeah,
And
well,
so, you know, and so they don't have an opportunity to out there to bid. They just don't have the capacity.
that's what, yeah, that's what I agree. I think Ms. Brown, you're correct. So, I mean, the company, this is a free market society. So that's what the city is doing. Like, hey, if you have the capacity to deal with the 100,000+ people that reside here in the city, then, and the equipment, we presume the facilities, employees, staffing, all that, then those are the ones that are going to be bidding. And yes, you're going to probably have the larger companies like GFL, possibly Advance, Waste Management potentially. I mean, Corey and I have had these conversations. I'm like, Advance has a facility right off Veterans Memorial. I'm surprised they haven't bidded out here. I mean, it doesn't take that much. I mean, they go all the way to Sandy Springs. So I'm like, why don't they come this direction? You know what I'm
And
saying?
you know, Advance has been brought up by Waste Management.
And Waste Management, okay then, see, yeah, so Waste Management, yeah, so, you know, and like I said, I know that they have the capacity, it's just, is it feasible? And I mean, you know, using Sandy Springs as that same model, because that's the model that the city is using, I can tell you that right now. That Sandy Springs had probably about 100,000 people, Waste Management had about 52% of the business on average.
You know, Sandy Spring is a different demographic, so.
No,
that
no,
could- that
not
could have something to
necessarily.
do
No,
with it.
no.
Sandy
Hold on,
Springs is a
sir.
free market system.
The free market system, they had
No, no.
52%.
Okay.
There's less residential properties in Sandy Springs than there is here.
What's the demographic? What's the demographic makeup of Sandy Springs?
Sandy Springs is 100,000 people with over 90% of the mixed population of the city itself. Don't think that it's predominantly Caucasian. It really isn't. 60% of the population is brown, black, Asian, and Indian. And most of the people,
Let me
most of
interrupt
the
right
people,
here.
Okay.
Hold
and-
on. Let me
what's the
interrupt
median-
right here because I
what's the
don't
median-
want
what's
the
the median income?
conversation.
I
No,
understand what you're
no,
saying from an income standpoint, but they're looking, trash makes money. So they're going with population
Right.
and body and buildings. That's what they care about. I don't care
Right.
who you are. Trash makes money. So they're going for buildings.
All right.
They don't care if there's 1,000 people live in your house. They
So
know
we
they're gonna
have
pick up
people-
trash.
Right.
So we have some people who have their hands up.
Oh, I'm
And
sorry.
we also have an agency who is on the call that is a small sanitation company that wants to talk about the services of using a smaller company. So I'm gonna let Ms. Stenbridge ask her question, then Ms. Collins, and then we'll let Mr. Knight speak. Go ahead, Ms. Stenbridge.
I don't have a question. I'm sorry.
All right, Ms. Collins. Okay, Mr. Knight, do you want to tell us the name of your company and your services?
Good evening, everyone. Merlin Knight with Magic Waste Valet. Yes, we are a mom and pop, as I believe Ms. Brown was stating. Yes, we are small. And I do know of Latham, GFL, Advanced Waste Management, Republic. All of those are big guys. But like you said, there will always be customers that are not satisfied with the lack of service, or more so pleased with the service that they're being provided. Demographics does not really matter. It's a matter of, like some Mr. Alho was just saying, it's the number of houses that can be serviced. The difference between the big boys and the smaller ones like Latham, you're able to get someone on the phone more readily than not, because of the fact that we care about the customer, because the customer becomes part of our family. So we want to make sure that as a small vendor, we continue to provide that type of service. I guess with that, you will always also, it's going to be sometimes with a smaller vendor, you may pay a little more or may pay a little less. But again, you'll be able to know what your invoice looks like. Thank you.
So are you currently taking on new customers?
We will certainly take on some new customers that would be willing to come over to Magic Waste Valet. I guess the question would be, the level of service you currently are getting now. Is it once a week, twice a week? Are you being provided the Herbie Kirby 95-gallon container, or are you not?
Are you saying that you can serve the city of South Fulton?
Unfortunately, as a small vendor, I cannot serve 100,000 plus homes.
It's boutiques, right? So you would be a
That
you
is
would be a
correct. I will be a Latham in that sense.
So
A small vendor
But-
versus that
but-
DFS.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, if you cannot serve the city of South Fulton, are you gonna be allowed to bid?
Well, everyone is as you know, it's a free market. So yes, we can bid on, but it's not a guarantee that we'll actually be awarded the bid.
and I'm just going to speak, and Mr. Knight may have a different model, you know, but he's right. Small companies such as his, or small, you know, small operations, you see them, I've seen them in like apartment communities. They have more of the valet service, which he may deal into, or
We do.
or your small like condo communities that, you know, there's enough business for them, but it's not, you know, like, hey, I don't want to take my trash out, you know, to the, you know, to whatever the entrance or whatever. Hey, you leave your trash out. Like my son, he stayed in an apartment, he leaves his trash at the door. They have a valet company that comes through the apartment complex on Tuesdays, and they would pick the trash up and discard it, you know, wherever, you know. So those are, it's that, you know, so that's, like he said, he's a boutique service, but he's a smaller company that, you know, he may build a partner with some of these larger companies if needed. I don't know, but that's what.
And that's rightfully so. We could partner, depending on what the winning bid is. Because of, again, it's about the level of service that you are requesting as a customer. You want to be able to know that your invoice looks like. You want to know that someone is on the other end is actually going to answer the phone. You want to know that someone is going to come out, if you had your service missed, come back out and retrieve that waste because you've already paid for it. So as you say, so that is the boutique service that we do provide currently.
Ms. Collins has a question.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Go ahead with your question.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I need to make a statement. When we had the previous meetings and they were talking about price, there were connections under the umbrella that you could choose, such as waste pickup, recycle, lawn pickup, and may have been other things. But Corey said he wants everyone to be able to pay the same price. That is not possible because every household is not going to select the same item. Where somebody needs waste pickup, they may not want recycling. So we need to look at that, and I'm not going to go to my neighbor and ask them how much they pay, and my neighbor is not going to come to me. So to me, that is an untrue statement. Thank you.
Ms. Lewis?
Hi, I just have a question. When we're saying that some smaller companies will be allowed to subcontract with whoever wins the bid, isn't that the same as having multiple carriers like we do right now? So what actually is changing?
No, it's the bid will be to the prime contractor. Just say a waste management. Waste management, if they don't have enough to carry the entire area, then subcontracting opportunities will have to be made available to those who want, so they can fulfill their contract. So that, you know, will have to happen because they will have to fulfill, regardless of whatever it is. If they don't provide the subcontracting opportunities, they're still contractually bound, obligated to fulfill service to every door. So And, you know, we talked about those earlier, is those KPIs, because we do have a sanitation manager now in place just to oversee that. Then that will be something that they would have to perform on. And, you know, based on that, they'll be on the contract, whether they can or cannot. Whoever wins out there will be deemed unqualified to do so. And, you know, so, and then there's, of course, there's financial repercussions on that as well. So, but I'm sitting up here, I'm going on our site looking for the bid. It's funny, it's RFP 2020, it's 22-020. And you have to go to register to be a vendor at this BidNet Direct, where the open solicitation is.
Which is the state site, the governmental site.
Right, which is the state site now. And then they got the $0 one that you register for $0, and it comes up to be at $64. And so I don't, it's all misleading, but I'm going to get these bid documents.
Yeah, I just submitted an open records request.
I'll pull them down. I'm gonna pull them down. Talking.
You said what?
No,
I will get them while you're talking. Brown
Okay.
has her hand up.
Somebody had a hand up?
Corey, I
Yes,
had
I
another part of my question. I have another question. So, the complaints that that you're getting in reference to GFL, is it just all, I mean, among the council people, is it in a specific area that they're getting poor service, or is it just all over? And are the complaints similar, or?
It's the complaints that I have is just over here in this area. I would have to ask my colleagues. I believe that they have had other complaints as well, but I can't give you the specific districts. But I believe, I'm just going to speak for myself, and then just know that the ones that I have complaints, and that is over in this area. So, but we will have that information coming up soon, because I plan on getting this, because the closing date for this bid is July the 28th. So that's a fact. And we will, and so theoretically, by our first council meeting coming back in August, then it should has been reviewed, looked up, studied out from staff, and up for us to approve or not approve at our first council meeting based on this July 28th closing date. Now, and so with our purchasing manager not in place, that could get, that the bid date should get pushed back, but the time to review and get in through the process and up before council may be pushed back. So might be looking at August, September. But whatever it is, we have to do this out there during the budget hearings over there, because we must have some budget items in place.
So are you all looking to start this, or this taking effect
First of the
at the
year.
beginning of the year?
Yes, ma'am.
I don't have GFL. I currently have Fulton Sanitation. I've been out here since 2010, no complaints whatsoever. But after I heard about GFL, I looked them up. I looked at their reviews. They have a 1.03 review out of 5, and they have over hundreds of complaints. And I know everybody couldn't be lying.
Oh, the complaints are valid, ma'am. That's yeah, that's a no-brainer. That the complaints are valid. So this is who, Miss
Harvey.
Okay, Miss Harvey. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, and Jamie had his hand up.
Yes.
Wait, yes, I have my hand up.
Okay. Let me just
Wait.
say out there, it was Miss Brown had her hand up, Miss Harvey, she just spoke, and Mr. Vickers, then Miss Mapp, Alejandro, then Jane. So Mr. Vickers, go ahead.
Oh, well, I just got a couple of questions. One is when our GFL sent out the bill, the new bill, they never gave a notification of any price hike. I don't mind paying for service, but you gotta let me know when you're gonna, give me a price hike and the reason why you give me a price hike. And secondly, I have two properties. One is a townhome and a regular and another home, regular, standalone home. And the price, the trash service and bill are two different prices. One for the townhome is $56 and change, and for the standalone home is like $78, $79 and some change. So I just want to know the difference. And I know GFL is represented down the line, but if you can give somebody a chance, to notify them, let us know what's going on, so we can understand what's going on.
Correct, and those bills should not be separate, and or different, because especially if they're in the same area and generalized area, it should be just if this is the price, it's residential trash service, so they should not be different. All right, Miss Mapp.
Yes, I'm a little confused with something that you said earlier. I just wanted some clarification that if a larger company wins the bid, that some of the smaller companies like Latham, I'm a Latham customer, very happy with them, that they may become subcontractors under the larger company. My misunderstanding, I think, that a smaller company could be a subcontractor, then why would there be a need for subcontracting if a larger company is able to win the bid for the entire city?
That's just how it is, and so it's always usually done like that. It's a major company comes in and is a prime contractor and have subcontracting opportunities, and so that's just kind of a standard thing, and that happens in procurement and happens throughout large, just the large company just has the bandwidth out there to have bonding and insured capacity. So that's kind of a standard really in the industry. But however, I want to see these bid documents and that'll speak to that. So when I get hold of the bid documents, I'll actually know the information directly what the people are reading, and will subcontracting opportunities be available? And that information is only inside of those bid documents. So
and I would be concerned how the consumer would be charged in cases like that, because it
still be the same price. That's one of the things that the biggest complaint is the difference in pricing. Like literally two neighbors having the same service and different pricing. That's going to be the difference. One of the differences is that's going to be, is going to be stabilized pricing. So that's one of the things that I know the discount is a concern of this. Mr. Farrell, go ahead.
So Corey, I guess my trepidation on this bidding, when again, I'm gonna go back to metrics and indicators that y'all have not seen consistently, not to say they haven't been presented, but no one has seen these from the current providers. So why not get that data? Like I've talked to you before about this, have a come to Jesus meeting with all these vendors, bring them into City Hall or wherever, have the sanitation manager give them a presentation, city manager, you, mayor, council, say, look, y'all got 6 months to get your act together, or you're not going to be providing service in the city of South Fulton. And the reason I say that, again, I've told this story before, worked in Sandy Springs, we were having issues with waste management. City manager was getting calls every day. He said, Mr. McDonough called me and said, hey, get waste management's regional manager into City Hall. Let's talk to them about they're missing sites. They're not going, they were doing curbside service, going up driveways, weren't going up driveways, people calling me. I'm like, what are you talking about? Not picking up. I said, okay, look, you're going to meet us in the office so we can talk this thing out. What are you going to do to correct it? The city manager's giving me authority to tell you, you have 30 days to correct it. If you don't correct it, we're going to kick you out, and you have 50% of the business in this city. And we'll find somebody else. We have other vendors already on the list that they can go to. After
Correct.
that, didn't have any problems. They were paying their impact fees every quarter, all of that.
Yeah,
And
we
so,
need to get, yeah, and that's another thing too, Mr. Farrell, is in those impact fees. And so that's a key deal, because I did mention that. So but you're absolutely right. And you filed an open records request to get that information, correct?
I just filed open records request for the bid, like while we were sitting on the phone, since I couldn't see it. I'm like, how do you not see the bid?
That's insane, right? So, but hey, look here. Thank you, Mr. Farrell. I appreciate you. We'll be back to visit this again. Ms. Williams, go ahead.
Okay, great. Hello, everyone. So I have GFL as well, and I don't really have too much of an issue with GFL, except, you can't reach them when you try to call them. I know a lady just moved next door to me, and she's been here at least a month. And I was, informing her about the trash or whatever, and did she have trash service? And she said she paid for her bill in advance, like a month in advance. So that would have been 2 months ago. And she still has not received her trash can. And I said, well, I think I have a different number, because I needed a new trash can and I never could reach GFL. So I just stopped paying my bill. Plus they went up on it. It's like $78 now. And so I said, well, I'm gonna stop paying my bill. And of course, once you stop paying your bill, they send you a notice with, some good phone numbers. So of course I called that number and was able to speak to someone, and she promised me a trash can that I never got, but it's a guy that rides through, delivering trash cans and stuff. So I stopped him one day, and, I threatened to just drop my service if I didn't get a trash can. So he did give me a trash can that day. But the only problem I have with GFL is that you cannot reach their office, their local office, when you're trying to reach them. And if you call that 1-800 number, 188, whatever, they'll try to, switch you over to local or tell you, call the local office. So that's about the only problem I have with GFL. They've never missed my trash service. If they see me trying to run out and catch them, they will stop. So that is about the only problem I have with GFL.
Thank you, Ms. Williams. Ms. Brown?
Yes. My question, I had GFL too when I first moved over here. And as new homeowners moving into a new subdivision, they only collect what's in the bin. Anything extra, they don't take. Latham takes everything. Again, we already heard about the calling in. No one answers the phone. Or you can start early in the morning. You may be lucky to get somebody if you hold on for about 20 to 30 minutes, And so, and then if they cancel, they don't come. Say something happened with the truck in the route and they couldn't get there. No one tells you, we're not coming today, but we'll come back tomorrow. It's always a guessing game. But my question is, in the bidding criteria, is there any language that if a company has a less than favorable star rating for customer service or reliability, that they can't be part of the process? Or does the selection committee take this into account, what the star ratings is? Because if you don't have good service, you shouldn't be able to bid.
That's a good question, Ms. Brown. I will ask you to send that to me in email, as I do not know the answer to that question, because I can't get the bid documents from our city website without being charged price. And so please send that to me in email so I can get that question answered to you as soon as I get those documents. Thank you so much. Ms. Harvey.
So there is no representative on the line here from GFL, even though they were invited.
I am thoroughly very disappointed in that. Absolutely.
That should tell you something right there. And
don't worry, it does. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, and they are not even accredited by the Better Business Bureau.
Oh, please send that information to me via email. I would love to have that information sent to me so I can give you the authoritative response to that. Ms. Collins.
Okay.
Crazy.
Thank you.
Freaking crazy.
Ms.
My,
Collins,
hello, can you hear me?
yes.
Okay, my concern is, first of all, I'm trying to find out what is entailed in this trash pickup. Trash pickup, a garbage pickup, recycle, and yard debris. You continue to say that everybody will be charged the same price. How can that be if I do not choose, if I only choose one item? Also, the city is going to benefit from it, from the impact fees. This is what I wanted to know. And you made that statement. That's how the city will benefit from having one carry.
Yeah,
Correct?
yes, one of the things
Okay.
I want is impact fees, correct, yes. And so, but you are right, is like the services, there will be other services that are available as well for those who choose it. So, but again, I can't answer that question until I get the actual bid document and read through that.
I understand, but there's no way that everyone will be charged the same price because what is under the umbrella to choose from. I may
No,
choose
I understand what
garbage
you're saying.
pickup, right?
Right. No. I cleared it down. To be fair, to answer your question, to be fair to that, yeah, you're right. All things being equal, right, it will be the same price. If everybody just had trash pickup, it will be the same price. Those other services, will make cost a slight increase if you have those yard trimmings, yard debris, this and that third. So, and that's supposed to be answered, and that question is supposed to be answered in the document. And so we're going to see if they did their job accordingly. And as soon as I get that document, and I'm going to read through it. And so thank you, Ms. Collins. Ms. Lewis?
Oh, you quite well.
Ms. Lewis?
Yes. How long is this contract going to be for? Because another company other than GFL could win, or whoever wins, and still have a low rating as well. How long, once you guys make the selection of the carrier that's going to service all the people of South Fulton, is that rebid every 4 years, every 2 years, or is it until I'm just trying to find out how long.
I want to be able, right. I want to be able, as soon as I get inside of that document, I can tell you, but in my experience, it's usually been a 5-year bid, or they had 3-year bid with 2-1 option year renewals. And so, which will make it 5 years, and that would be to allow the city to be out or the company to be out. But I'm not going to be able to answer that authoritatively until I see it's in the bid document. But I get that back to you, Ms. Lewis. Mr. Fell?
I don't know if they are going to still have the meeting, but according to the bid documents, tomorrow at 1 o'clock is supposed to be the pre-proposal conference meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, June 21st at 2 p.m.
At the pre-bid at City Hall?
The City of South Fulton Fire Station Training Room at 4760 Fulton Industrial Boulevard.
Put it in the chat. That's Fire Station 11.
The questions for the vendors to bid is due by Friday, July 1st.
Put that in the chat, please. And if y'all want to show, if anybody can show up, and Tamika, put that on my schedule, please, ma'am. And so I do have a job site to go fill in the morning, but 2 o'clock, yeah, put that on my schedule for me. And so we'll make sure that we're there. That's Fire Station 11, ladies and gentlemen, and that's right down the street. And I believe it's right down the street from City Hall. So if anybody want to come in as a community person to listen in and to see all the vendors, because everybody who's going to bid, does that pre-bid say it's mandatory? Tamiko, does that pre-bid say mandatory?
Just a minute, I'm looking. So it would be in their best interest to be there if they're gonna bid.
Okay, so
serious ones should be there.
Right, and
And
so
anybody who potentially gonna be a subcontractor should be there.
so you will see the people who will be bidding on that tomorrow. As if it was mandatory, you'll see every single proponent who will be bidding on it. So we'll be there at 2 o'clock and we'll follow up with you as well. So
Yeah.
okay.
No, and what you will see, I mean,
Two
and Corey,
o'clock or
from
one?
your perspective, you'll see probably the regional managers or the sales managers will be there. I think someone was talking about the impact fees. The impact fees do, just to let you know, every waste hauler, the reason they pay it based off the tons of stuff they carry away, and they provide a percentage of that money back to the city to cover the roads. That's what it's designed to do. It is designed to cover the weighted equipment on these residential roads, creating potholes and all that kind of stuff. So everybody benefits. The city does it. We all benefit, because, so don't think of it as like, well, this waste hauler. No, if they're paying their fees based off the tonnage, they should. Like I said, waste management, they probably pay the city about $80,000 a year. Every quarter they would send a check about $15,000-$20,000 for the amounts of tons of garbage they took away. We had a small company, just to give you an example, small company called Cox Sanitation. You know where they're based at? Chattanooga, Tennessee. They drive down a couple times a week to go do waste hauling in Sandy Springs, but they paid their fees. They were just a smaller company, but their name is Cox Sanitation. And I'm sitting here, I had to cite them for something one day, and they were like, yeah, we're in Tennessee. I'm like, y'all come from Tennessee? All the way down. They say, we've been picking up trash in Sandy Springs when it was Atlanta for about 20 years. And they made sure their trucks were numbered and had, whatever they needed. And so all I'm saying is it's not a bad thing. It's just, if you saw in the chat, Sandy Springs, when I worked there, had 15 providers. Now they're down to about 4, 5. So this could be a better process overall for the whole holistic of the city if it's worked properly, I would say. I'm not saying it's not working improperly, but you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, if the system works the way it should work, it should benefit everyone in the long run. But I just don't like the fact that we're having a bid and we don't know metrics. That's just my thing, Corey. I'm sorry.
No. Hey, get this. You're absolutely correct, Mr. Farrell. Thank you so much, Miss Sheila. And we're gonna wrap up this last question with you.
Before you go on, it looks like they may be getting 2 providers. I posted what's inside the paperwork and split the city.
Right, and so we're gonna find that out tomorrow. That should be all here at the pre-bid. Ms. Sheila, go ahead. We're gonna wrap up with you.
Yes. Good evening, Councilman. I wish we would have had more time. I wanted to talk about the city business that's on the news again, but I guess we don't have time to discuss that. Which is our mayor for the city of South Fulton is on the news again, and I thought we would have had more time to discuss it. Maybe we can discuss it next time.
We will discuss that next week, Ms. Sheila, and we will be. But ask your question. What specifically, or is it that you want to know? We're going to take the time, though.
What I wanted to know is, why is it that anything that happened in the city that someone is always contacting the news, why is it that our dirty laundry is always shared on the news? It's like little bitty things. It's just tidbit things is shared on the news all the time. And you don't see that happening with other cities. And I'm just wondering, why is this happening? Who is this contacting the news on things that should be kept within the city? I mean, I'm not saying this should be a secret or anything, but why is it blast all over the news every time? And then we have the same council person that's always interviewing and in front of the camera talking about airing out dirty laundry. It's the same person every time that I see when I turn the news on. And it just seemed disturbing to me. And I just thought we should have had some time to talk about it.
Yes, ma'am. It is. That's disturbing to me as well. Y'all should know by now is I don't really like cameras. I don't really like the news cameras. It's things that's handling business and it's the distraction to the overall thing that's going on. If anything should be on the news, that's going to be out here to the city benefit is, in contract, so we can get the maximum input from the city instead of the negative narrative that's always drawn and causes discord, causes distractions and dysfunctions. But and really, that's not even the news story from the mayor dealer out there. It really comes down to the purchasing department and some things that went on there. So it's not even it's not even to me dealing with a situation that's with the mayor, as it does kind of relate to some things, but the overall core of the issue should be right there dealing with our purchase department. But we're going to talk about that and get more in detail. Is this is just another situation, along with every other situation that shouldn't be in the news, is and that can causes, when people hear different things from different sources, and then the media puts out information from the different sources, you have two different stories. Well, that's called confusion. And so, that should not be the case. And so we will be we'll be moving on from that. And so as things have been, it's already put out there. And so I want to be fair, and whatever it is, I want the mayor to be able to come and have any answers that he may have before we talk about anything. See, if somebody says something, they get the opportunity to come back and rebut any of that in a time frame. And so I would love for that to happen so that he can answer to the constituency, to the people, his view and his point of view. And so I think that's the only fair deal to do. And so I don't really kind of try to get in the middle of those unless that process has been completed. And then we'll be able to speak freely about it, because now we have both sides. And so that being said, thank you, Ms. Sheila, for that question. And so this is truly y'all call, and I tell you, you can ask any question and we will. And I know we are past time, but I know that question is because it's out there. And so we can go more in depth to that. And I apologize that GFL did not show up, but they have been invited over a month ago until this date. And so then we called and confirmed out that this morning. And so I'm truly disappointed that they did not get on, but that is they will get my correspondence in that as well. But I do want to thank y'all for taking time out of y'all day. That's Juneteenth.
Before you go, we have a comment in the chat that they asked a question about the police officers being put on leave.
Oh, I got that email Saturday morning, and yes, I have no idea. I have to follow up with that. It was put on leave about, what was it? It was about a policy violation. It was 7 of them. And so, yeah, that's, yes, I have no comment to that. And so, Mr. Sellers, I see that your hand is up. We ended up with Miss Sheila, but go ahead and ask your question if it's relative to the question Miss Sheila asked.
No, it's a different question.
Relating to what, sir?
We received some flyers about an event tomorrow dealing with Camelot. Is that an event that you're going to be at?
Yes, at Mingo, 7 o'clock. Yes, sir.
Okay, that's all I want to know. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And right. Yes, and so, but yes, I have no comment to that question about the police, because I don't even know what it's about. It was we got to receive the correspondence that 7 was placed on leave from dealing with a policy issue. So, but it's 7 of them, and it's a policy issue, and that's.
One more comment was on here was District 7 doesn't have any representation. So in the meantime, if you know someone from District 7 that has any issues, we do not have a problem with them reaching out to us or to Councilman Reeves, because we are a council for the whole city, not just District 5. But however, one of the candidates, Mr. Clark, is running for District 7, so I don't know if he's able to offer his assistance for District 7. Mr. Clark.
Oh, Mr. Clark, go ahead. I will let you have the give you 3 minutes, sir.
I am here. Like I said, there's an issue for District 7. I would love to be a part of the conversation.
We can't hear you.
Hey Mario, you talking into a mic? I think we can't hear no sound, sir.
All this technology had to get it together. Sorry about that. But if there are any issues about District 7 that you guys definitely want to bring to the forefront, I have no problem helping in that regard. I am running for city council in District 7, so I look to be a voice for the city. But before that election occurs, I definitely want to be a part of the conversation for any issues for the constituents of District 7 that we can bring to the forefront. I was also thanking Councilman Reeves to be being amenable and having himself available, to help in those issues as well. He's provided this platform to be a wonderful sounding board, and I definitely appreciate him for that. But if there are any issues, definitely don't hesitate to email me or start a conversation. My email address is mario@clarkforchange, and my telephone number where you can reach me is 404-585-1158. So definitely give me a call or send me an email, and we can discuss those issues and bring them to the forefront where they need to be brought. Thank you, Mr. Reeves.
All right, thanks,
Say
sir.
your email one more time.
It's mario@clarkforchange.com. Thank you.
All right, thank you, sir. Tamiko, any more comments in the chat?
The last one was about splitting it up. Well, we've not received any contacts for District 7 to reach out to them to attend any of our meetings or our events. So I'm not aware who's splitting it up, but we've not received any contacts for District 7 to provide support to them. So if any of them want to reach out to us, we'll be more than happy to try to offer assistance to them.
Okay, and I'll reach out to some of the people that I know as well and let them know that they can come to us. One of the Floyds, and then Miss Willis and some of the other group. That's through Point Ridge subdivision, and I will get with my colleague Miss Natasha Williams and see on her end as well. So because I think it's just too long for them not to have representation. And that being
Corey, I'm Councilman Reeves. This is Wanda, Miss Lewis. I thought I had read somewhere that Councilwoman Williams, District 6, and Councilman Sebastian, District 4 was actually splitting that up based on 7, I guess, touched both of them, and that they said, I think the portion closest to 6 was going to be taken care of by Councilwoman Williams, and the other part was going to be closer to District 4 was going to be handled by him. So did that change, or did I read wrong?
I don't know where you read that. That's my first time hearing about it, and so
I think Councilwoman Williams had put it out there on Facebook or somewhere. One of the South Fulton pages that I follow, Facebook pages that I follow, I had saw that.
So again, my answer would still be the same. Even if they are trying to offer support, all of the council is responsible for the whole city. So District 5 will offer any support that anyone from District 7 reaches out to them to ask for. We will support them and try to provide services.
Well, right. There's nothing that separates us but trees, and so they can reach out to anybody who, if they feel, is going to respond and handle their needs. But at the end of the day, we are responsible for everyone. And And me, me personally, growing up in Point Ridge, I mean, that's kind of a no-brainer for me. So however, that's fine. But Ms. Lewis, you can give anybody my contact information. Any of y'all can give anybody from District 7 my contact
Right.
information,
And I
as
understand that,
some of them do call personally. Go ahead.
Right.
And for the record, any district, we get calls from other districts as well. We've been complimented for answering emails, answering phone calls that they've not been able to get in touch with other council members. So we have prided ourselves with trying to address y'all, whether we get it right or perfect, we still try. So anybody who contacts us, we still want to be supportive. It's not, we support District 5 first, but we still support everybody that wants our help. And put on your calendars, July 16th, we are going to see the cottage homes in Clarkston, Georgia. For those of you who want to know what they look like, I believe about a month or so ago, we had College Park come on and let you know that they're getting ready to build them on Godby Road. This is the company that they're using to bring them over there. And so anybody who wants to see them, we are looking to go July 16th from 10 to 12 p.m. I believe. The executive director will be doing the tour, so he can answer any questions that you have about the good, bad, ugly about building them or purchasing them, or anything I want to know, in case the conversation makes it to the city of South Fulton. So
We would have
prepare
been the
to get
first,
ready
by the
to go
way.
there.
We would have been the first. I'm just gonna say that. But hey, but please come out. We do want all y'all to join us as well. And yeah, I'm sorry, Timmy, I had to interject on that one. This is cause I just hey, listen, everybody bragging about College Park, and it just kills me. But however, it's all good. But education isn't key, and education and knowing about it is more important to me than anything. So I'll just have folks come out there and learn about it and understand that there are people who want this type of style of living. And Miss Ernestine, I see you have your hand up. We was going in with Miss Sheila, but since we done took so much more time, go ahead. And this is the last question, okay, y'all? Okay,
this is my better half, Donald Corey.
Hey, Mr. Donald, Brother Don, how you doing, sir?
Corey, I have an observation. I went to that RFP that was shared in chat, and I clicked on the link to submit the bid, and the link takes me to Johns Creek bid page. So you may want to look into that.
Yes, we was just looking it up, so that's what I'm saying. And it rerouted me to a bidnet.link, which is the government site. But thank you, Mr. Don. We will be checking into that as well. So, but again, ladies and gentlemen,
nope, I gotta give one more announcement. Friday Night Live is starting this Friday.
How did I forget about that? Right. So this GFL, they got me on. And so yes, absolutely. Go ahead, Mr. Go.
So is there anybody out there that plays cards or dominoes or chess? This is going to be game night this Friday. We will be there from 6 to 10 p.m. If there's anyone who plays basketball, the youth will play from 6 to 8, and the adults will play from 8 to 10. There'll be a food truck. There'll be a DJ. Then every other week, starting this Friday, every other week, we will have a community night out over there. So, and there'll be more activities to come. So we are working on kickball, flag football. There's some more stuff coming. So, but this week is going to be game night.
Was
So
there over we said over there, over where?
Thank you. Burdette. That's Burdette Gym. So they'll have the basketball in the gym, and we'll have the game night in the community room. So please, and anybody is welcome. It's a public event.
Yes, and one of the things that I always try to do with Friday Night Live, as last year when it kicked off, The one thing I try to do is I try to have a department head there from every department, one at a time, okay? And so that people can ask them questions directly. Last year we had kicked off, it was Mr. Valenzuela. And he did come out. I know Mr. Dirt, I get this, I know, brother. And so, however, but when he came out, he literally stayed there for about an hour and a half, 2 hours, and because there was nobody to show up to ask him the question, and then but he was there, and I will give him that. And so I'm gonna ask him again if he'll be there this Friday. I don't know, but I'm gonna ask him or Mr. Morris to be there, to be present.
Can you get him on the dunking machine thing?
You're funny. Hey, you know what? That would be an idea, right? And so I'll be first on the side.
You can raise some money. You can raise some money. You can raise some money for your charity like that, bro.
Well, we do have a nonprofit cohort too. These are led by nonprofits, but the document, you know what? Good suggestion, sir. So, hey, Tamiko, is this, if there's one more thing to add on this, not for this week, but for the following. But yeah, that's a good question. And so good suggestion. And thank you so much. And but listen, I'm truly disappointed y'all that they didn't show up. I mean, this literally has been a month in planning, and for them not to do this is just kind of disheartening. And I think it's a disservice to the constituents. And but they will get my correspondence expressing my disappointment, because this was literally over a month planned. And so, but however, I digress with that. It's over, it's done. And so we still had our conversation, because we're going to come at 6:30 no matter what. And, you know, it's just unfortunate, but I do want to thank y'all for taking time out of y'all day to join us. And I appreciate y'all. And you are the best part of this city, the best part of this community. You are the influencers that the city needs to get it right. And I appreciate y'all for being that, and for holding us accountable and keeping us accountable as y'all should. And I thank y'all for that so much. And that is all I have to say, besides one thing, is that I love you and you can do absolutely nothing about it. And we're going to keep pressing on, to keep moving on, and to keep going in the right direction. And with you guys on our side, I think we're headed that way. And I appreciate you. And enjoy the balance of your Juneteenth holiday. It's the first one ever, and it just so happens to be the day after Father's Day. So, you know, as that's a good thing. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, y'all have a good evening.
Good evening. Good night.